Hey everyone, welcome back to Power Tips. Today we're continuing on talking about the new Dynamics 365 features in this release wave. And today we're going to focus on marketing. These features a lot of these are already out, or they're in preview, or they're going to come out before the next release wave in the fall. So let's kick it off with Heidi sharing her favorite tips about marketing.
All right, thanks, Kylie. I wanted to focus on the collaboration enhancements. So there's an area in Dynamics for marketing that there is an entire section here for collaboration enhancements, and it's these 4 features, none of which are ready except for the first one, but they are pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about what each of them does. The first feature keeps stakeholders in the loop by seamlessly copying them on email campaigns. So fun fact with this was born at Ideas. So somebody suggested this as an idea to improve dynamics for marketing. It was upvoted and now it's a feature. So there's your proof that it works. Keep adding ideas and upvoting. But this one's pretty simple. There's a screenshot here. It's got the red box around it. You can add up to 5 email addresses in a CC field, which is awesome. So that is the feature that is live today. You can go start using it right now. Second one, increase lead conversions by routing to the correct sales rep. So the next 3 you're going to see are really bringing sales and marketing together, which is really important. It's empowering marketers to take actions on behalf of sellers too. Because sometimes the marketing department will know the right course of action before it's ready for a handoff on sales. So increased lead conversions by routing to the correct sales rep is just defining a scoring criteria and then creating automated assignment rules. So you can see there's a screenshot in the back here that's kind of showing you that. And I really want to play with this. It looks really neat, but it's not available yet in public preview. It's coming sometime next month. So that'll be pretty cool to play around with. Third one is prioritize the best leads and empower sellers with the new lead scoring builder, which I think we're going to see in a little bit. So I won't dive too much into the lead scoring builder. But what this does is it allows you to pull in additional metrics than just behavioral. So you can get demographic or firmographic evaluations, and then there's some cool KPIs. And finally, optimize lead management by engaging sellers right away. This means that my marketing department or anyone with the proper permissions will have the ability to create and schedule tasks, phone calls directly from a journey. So you won't have to leave your journey, open up the sales app and add activities for your sales reps. You can do it directly in the journey. Additionally, you can activate sales sequences right within the journey. So I really like that last one. That might be my favorite because it just simplifies everything. What do you guys think of the collaboration enhancements coming?
I like them. I love that they're moving in this direction. It kind of has nothing to do with the collaboration, but this idea of the last point, you don't have to leave the thing you're doing. I mean, that's been a pain point for so long that if I click this other record, it's going to take me away, and then I got to get back, and it probably brings me back to the beginning of that record. I got to re-navigate to where I was. So this idea of like the model dialogue, kind of modal dialogue thing, or that concept, I think is great because it's helping keep people efficient, which is really their whole mandate. So I love it. And your point about sales and marketing together, I was on a call earlier this week and a marketing person said, I like to say that there's no marketing without sales. And I would argue that people on the sales side probably say the same thing. I know there's a lot of people who, clash a little bit on that between sales and marketing, but tools like this, I think, start to bring things together to help it just be this seamless continuum of, hey, we hand this off. Hey, it's ready for you. Now here you go. And here's everything we've done with it, the record so far. So I think these things are great.
Awesome. All right, Malcolm, you're up.
Yeah, I didn't want to steal this one. I saw that it was on your list to talk about, but I wanted to have the screenshots in there just to show it. So you've kind of touched on it briefly already, but this idea very much in line with what I was just saying, right? Idea of prioritizing leads and then giving them the ability to pass that lead based on a score. And lead scoring's been around for a while, so this isn't really new, but I think they're just enhancing the functionality and giving some insight, which is really, really cool. And then the next thing I can talk about in a minute kind of builds on top of that. But this idea of making lead scoring more impactful, I know in our world where I'm working at C5 Insight, we see a lot more request for this kind of stuff. Like, great, we have all these leads, that's awesome, but there's so many. How do we know which ones we should work with? And that's the whole intent of this idea of lead scoring, right? Let's prioritize the ones we need to focus on. So I love that they're making some additional enhancements and improving like the journey and when things are hitting a certain milestone, or a certain score rather, that it's getting handed off. So I love these features. And then kind of piggybacking on this idea of the next slide is the insights around effectiveness. This one, I think this is a game changer. In my opinion, this is probably, to me, after I read through everything, this one is the one I kept coming back to as probably one of the most impactful ones, because it's going to start to tie the things that you're doing, the marketing initiatives that you're taking and steps that you're taking with specific milestones. And you can start to see what's actually impacting the buyer's journey. And to me, that's just phenomenal. We see people ask that question all the time, and they parse ridiculous amounts of data trying to understand, hey, when we have an opportunity, what are the actual activities that we're doing that are truly contributing toward winning that opportunity? And which things are we wasting our time on? Because we don't want to do that. We want to focus on the things that work. So this idea of picking milestones and saying, hey, when we convert something, we want to see the activities that led to that action happening. Again, to me, I could probably ramble on and on about it, but to me, this is a huge value add because it's giving the ability to see what's truly working. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what they're striving to get from a ROI perspective on marketing efforts. So I love it.
I really like those milestone analytics at the top. Those are some nice KPIs. I know it's not available to play with, but do you have any idea? Do the release notes say if you can add your own custom analytics up there?
I didn't see that in the notes anywhere. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not available, but I didn't come across that.
Oh, it says edit dashboard in the screenshot, so that's a good sign.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that means you can just move stuff around or if you can add your own. But I'd like to think if you can't add your own now, I'd like to think that that's something that's going to come down the road because every organization's a little different, right? So,
Awesome stuff.
mhm.
Cool. Few tips from me. So one I think was cool was around preventing message fatigue with different caps. So what this means is, well, we all know what happens when you sign up for a newsletter and you get, 5 emails a day and you're like, I hate this. I will never buy from this company again, right? So now you'll be able to define the caps to make sure a particular person, a particular email address doesn't get over a certain number of emails during the defined period, right? So I can define it daily, weekly, and monthly. And I can also do this by journey, right? So I could have a particular journey and I could set caps there and then set caps in a different journey as well. So if my users have signed up for multiple, been triggered into multiple journeys or multiple campaigns, I can still make sure they're getting the information from both of them, without going crazy. And this should already be in general availability.
Very cool.
Then next, I have some AI features. So lots of cool things coming out. We've all heard about Copilot, right? Copilot is also coming to marketing. And so this includes things like the AI powered content ideas. I think that's what it used to be called. Now in the documentation, it's called Copilot for your ideas. This is currently in public preview. Also, I think this is kind of related to what Malcolm was talking about. We can understand how marketing activities contribute to defined milestones. So we have the analytics we looked at, but also there's going to be some artificial intelligence around those milestones to help us better understand what contributed to them. That should be in public preview right now. And finally, when we're making our segments should also be allowing more natural language, right? So instead of needing to understand our exact query, we can kind of build that with natural language to find the group of people that we want to market to. What do you guys think about
Very
these
cool.
AI powered features?
I was surprised to see natural language and segment building. I don't feel like that's a particularly difficult thing for people to use. I don't know that it needed it, but hey, it's cool.
It's cool.
I like that the message caps. I'm wondering, as you're talking through it, I was wondering about whether they start to leverage the data with AI and actually the analytics, right? Because you get subscribes and drops and things like that.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if they start to make recommendations saying, hey, it looks like a lot of people are dropping off if you send more than 4 texts a week or whatever the case may be. Maybe you should consider putting caps or even go so far as inserting the limits automatically based on performance. I don't know. Maybe that one feels like a little bit too far of a stretch, but at least leveraging the data because we've got all this information there. If you're sending stuff out on a regular basis, you can start to try and connect. Hey, here's the volume, and here's when we're
Right.
seeing people drop, and there's valuable data there. But to comb through that and see those trends is a lot. So AI should be able to do that for you. So that'd be neat to see someday if it comes out.
Yeah, I don't
That's a
see
great
any of that
idea.
in the future right now, but I'm sure that that would be the next step because I think something we've probably been asking for, or people usually ask for with marketing, is like a subscription center, right? And how can I let people control which journeys they're subscribed
Mhm.
to and even
Right.
control which caps that they have, right? And having that set, having users have control of that too. So I think there's a lot of kind of things in the future that will relate to this.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? If you asked all three of us what our limits were, what our caps were, we probably have different things. And then to go even further, like you just did, for specific things, right? I'm probably more
Right,
willing to hear about some things 3 times a week and other things I don't want to hear about at all every
right.
week. And so
Mhm.
that would be interesting to make it customer specific and give
Yeah.
them the access to update that. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Good idea. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on our deep dive in dynamics for marketing. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments below what you want us to talk about next. I think we're headed over to the Power Platform release wave, so we will talk about something power related. We'll catch you next time on Power Tips.